Welcome to the second episode of K&S Exposed. This is K.
Hi, I'm Kristy.
And I'm S. Shawn.
And this is episode 2.
Yes.
Welcome.
Last week, we did episode 1, Aaron Brockovich.
Yes.
And
which was my selection.
That's right. This week, my selection was Leviathan, the 1989 George P. Cosmatos film. I had seen it many times over the years. Kristy has not.
Hence, us introducing items to each other that we have not seen, so then exposed, so then we can discuss them. And I had not heard of this one, even though it was 1989, and most people know that I'm a huge 80s fan. I also graduated high school in 1989. I can't say I've ever heard of this movie. So you did stump me there.
This movie, I did not see, and I don't believe I saw it in theaters, but it was definitely a cable staple in the early 90s, 90, 91. Like whenever this movie came out to Showtime or something, it was probably, or HBO.
Just blew it up.
Probably cheap to throw on there. And back in the day, HBO showed nothing but the same movie, 3 times a night, or whatever, and or 3 times a week, so that you could see it no matter when it was on. So that's where, and my mother liked to steal cable at the time by using a black box.
Well, good for her.
So
that was the thing to do at the time.
That was the
actually
thing to do. Yeah.
Well, that was actually
now we have the internet to do that.
And thank you, because that was my next question. I think mostly when we do these episodes, the first question should always be, why did you pick this movie? Right. Not because I haven't seen it or you haven't seen it, but there should be some kind of method to your madness why you picked it. So
exactly.
So I get you there. And again, you have stumped me because it's an 80s movie I haven't seen. So, check one for you.
I'm not trying to stump you. I'm just trying to expose you to great cinema.
Okay,
that's all I'm trying to do here.
Great, I wouldn't say great, but I mean, that's hence the discussion that we're going to talk about. I mean, it's pretty much Alien on a ship.
Alien on a ship has always been kind of the shorthand for this movie, which is a completely valid criticism. Now that I see it as a much older adult than when I was originally exposed to it, I actually see a lot more of John Carpenter's The Thing in this movie than I ever did in any previous time watching it.
I saw little elements of that, but for me specifically, even the what do you call it? Coming down the grates, the goo dripping down the grate. I'm like, Jesus, I'm watching Alien under fucking water.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean,
I believe that was a Rolling Stones review.
Well, thank you. Right. Water. I mean,
Actually, the Blu-ray, which is how we watch this, the only pull quote on the back of this Blu-ray is, quote, "Alien underwater!" from the Los Angeles Times.
I swear to God, I didn't even read that.
You did.
I did not.
Everybody pretty much walked out of Leviathan with the exact same consensus.
Right, but I met you. I have to note that because and a couple of my friends know, I always read about a movie before I watch it. Always, always, always. And this one I really didn't. Mm-hmm. I did look a little bit because I have to, because I do like the premise somewhat of what I'm getting into. Otherwise, I don't like going in cold. But I swear I did not read that. So that quote, thank you very much, came from me. So maybe Rolling Stone, call me. I could write
Los Angeles Times.
In Los Angeles Times. I'm ready to go. I was an English major. I could drop my resume. Just saying. They're not wrong. It's Alien on a ship. It is what it is. I mean, it's not a terrible movie, which...
No, it's not a terrible movie at all. I think this movie is too heavily criticized for being derivative, of other movies.
Sure.
Which it absolutely is. But it doesn't mean it's not doing a good job of being a derivative movie.
Okay.
Is Alien and Aliens, which this is both, it rips off both, better movies? Absolutely.
It's also very ironic. 1979, Alien on a spaceship. 1989, Alien on the water.
Well, and that was going through the vibe of the time, because 1989, the same year, 2 other underwater movies came out. Not having the exact same premise, but certainly similar scope about like underwater installations. Deep Star 6 came out the same year, which stars Miguel Ferrer, and it's also a monster under the water sort of movie.
Okay.
And then James Cameron, who directed Aliens, did The Abyss, which was also about aliens underwater, although it's a very different movie. It's not a...
Well, folks, if you're listening, to all 4 of you that are, please... If you're not an Alien fan, this movie's not for you, because it's...
Who the fuck is not an Alien fan?
Well, no, I'm footnoting that and prefacing it, because if you're not, you should be. So that would be...
Yeah, if you don't like the movie Alien and its sequel Aliens...
Yeah. Well, we can't be friends.
We're not friends.
Yeah, so that's for starters.
You should also stop listening and not continue with any further episodes.
Sure.
Because should this podcast go on for an extended period of time, I'm going to drop some bangers on a Leviathan level.
Sweet Jesus. Okay, so that's what I've got going for me. Maybe I should just go out and watch all the underwater films.
There's,
like before you pick them next, because
I could watch Deep Star 6 with you right now, Jesus. And I'd enjoy
it. And there's also something else I have to say, because there's one thing we talked about it all weekend with your folks. I don't like sharks. I specifically said, any kind of water movie, does this have sharks?
I did not remember the sharks.
No, and I quote, I don't remember. Yeah. I don't think so. But typically I trust you because, for the most part, you've seen this.
I said don't hold it against me.
But yes, you did say don't quote me on that and don't hold it against me. Well, there's fucking sharks in this. So it's brief.
It is very brief. It is not a main concern.
I turned away, but that's okay. I just would have liked some, little bit of, hey, there's going to be sharks. But... that's okay, because they're in the ocean, so it's like it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
how could it not happen?
There's gonna be a shark there. If there was no shark, this movie would have gotten like 13% on Rotten Tomatoes instead of 24% that it currently has.
Okay, so we are on Letterboxd, both of us. Mm-hmm. It's new to me, probably the last year or so. You've been on it longer. I didn't read your review. I don't think you wrote one.
I don't know that I've written one.
You have given this 4.5 stars. We tend to agree to disagree, which will probably make this podcast more interesting as it goes on. I do not give this 4.5 stars. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm vacillating still. I'm at a 3. It's a soft 3 because but it's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
I do hate that people compare it to Alien, which obviously you're telling me more so, and that's unfair because it's not giving it a lot of credit. Some of the acting's not great. Meg Foster, what a bitch.
Meg Foster plays a great bitch, though.
Yeah, but her and her steel eyes, punch her. Thank you for that, because that's what needed to happen. Peter Weller, okay. I was a little distracted because I think you're a huge RoboCop fan.
I love RoboCop.
I am not. I've seen it. I'm not. Please don't anybody hate me that's listening. But Peter Weller in this is yummy. Okay, he's yummy and handsome. Okay, whatever. I was waiting for those two to hook up. Especially with the music during that scene.
Yeah. The music is a bit on the nose in this.
No, movie. But the scene where it looks like you thought they were going to hook up. Yeah. Back, Willie. Oh my gosh. Just do it already. I mean, you're on a ship, you have nothing else to do. There's no liquor. There's just Pepsi everywhere.
Right. There is Pepsi. So
there is Pepsi. Do you like Pepsi? Pepsi's not even good. So
I mean, well, no, but clearly they paid for the sponsorship.
True. But there's no liquor. There's nothing else to do. So
and that's why the Coca-Cola Corporation went out of business the following year because
probably,
Leviathan just that advertising.
And you know
money.
what? That's why she's running all the time. Forget that she's got to take her astronaut test in 2 days. Bullshit. She's running all the time because she's trying to get all that sexual tension out, and Beck is not giving it to her. He's looking at her with those beautiful eyes, just staring at her, and she's just like, God, right? Oh, can we get her in her underwear one more time too? God, like I counted 6 scenes. She was in her underwear, bra and underwear. I'm sorry, never naked. Thank you, movie, for not like giving the typical like let's show her boobs and ass, but. She was in her skivvies a lot. Yeah. But she looked good.
She looked great.
She looked great. So
she's very fit. She's very athletic.
Because she was running all the time.
Well, she's trying to be an astronaut.
Yeah, well, she wasn't getting the sex from Beck. That's the problem. But then again, all that pent-up energy trying to kill the thing, you had to like channel that. All the sexual energy. Yeah. That's what I think. But what do I know? I'm not a connoisseur. I'm just saying.
So what separates Leviathan in your mind from a 3-star to say like a 3.5?
Okay. Well, there was
and there's no judgment here. I'm just curious.
From what? From a better rating?
Yeah. How would you make Leviathan better?
Okay. Well, I was distracted when I jokingly say distracted by Peter Weller because he was yummy. But Willie, I believe that was her name. Yeah. She looked like and sounded like a broke-ass Kelly LeBrock. It was distracting. Also a little bit like a Jennifer Rubin, but we love Jennifer Rubin.
Absolutely.
So I was like, there was a little bit of a mix of, Jennifer Rubin's more attractive to me in general, I think to you too, but it was distracting. Like I saw like so many like nuances in there, and then her accent, but I like that they didn't come together and like do it. That's the thing. There was no sex scene.
There was no time for any of that.
Oh well,
like literally, this movie moves.
I agree. No, I'm saying that is a good thing. I like that there wasn't a sex scene. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Because if you would have thrown that in, especially cue that when she was running and they were down there and he was fixing the thing with the big screwdriver or whatever, and they cued that cheesy music, I'm like, oh geez, please don't be a sex scene because you're just going to totally ruin what this movie is about right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I can't specifically put because I'm going to give Alien, the 1979 Alien, I'd give that a 5-star all day.
What do you give the 86 Alien? This is more of a knockoff of
first of all, anything Sigourney. I mean, she's the heroine. She's amazing. Maybe that's it. But I think that's a good way to answer your question. I think if maybe I'm comparing it too much to the Alien franchise. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, therefore, here's a 5 over here with the franchise, and then I don't know. This was just maybe I felt that it was trying too hard, but yet the acting was good. Yeah, I did like the acting. The only acting I didn't like was I noticed her right off the bat. L. Becker, whatever last name is. I noticed her right away from, that's the cadet and Officer and a Gentleman, and that is a favorite movie. So that's why I recognized her right away, and, that was kind of neat to see. Is she the
lead female in Officer and a Gentleman? I have not seen Officer and a Gentleman for anybody listening.
Future podcast. Jesus, what? How are we married? Anyway, I digress. She's she's one of the cadets going to the school trying to be an officer and a gentleman, so to speak.
She's not the girl that gets carried off at the end of the movie.
No, that's Deborah Winger.
I just know the scene from a silhouette.
Okay.
I really don't know from any more.
Oh my gosh.
And the terrible song.
Okay, I'm learning so much tonight. No, that was Deborah Winger, but that's okay, because I can't get mad at you because you haven't seen the movie. But how have you not seen the movie? It's one of Richard Gere's finest movies.
Because I'm too busy watching Leviathan.
Oh Jesus, that's the
And
problem here.
movies
That's
like
that's also part of the problem. The fact that you've seen Leviathan but not Officer and a Gentleman, it doesn't make you a bad person. I'm also 10 years older than you.
I was 8 years old when Leviathan came out.
Okay.
And I probably watched it the most between
and I was 18.
10 and 15.
And I was 18 and had not even seen it.
Sure.
Who's the better person?
I
think me.
You didn't even know. I had seen...
I'm okay not knowing.
I had seen all 3 of those underwater movies. You know, by the time I was 15.
Well, you know, you probably should have been focusing on movies on the land. You know what I mean? Which would be...
Officer
and a Gentleman. Which,
the famous list of land-based movies.
I know, but I mean...
Which is like all of them.
Sorry, my future husband only watching underwater movies.
All movies take place...
Did you see Waterworld? I mean, while we're at it? Oh, Jesus.
I saw Waterworld in theaters.
Jesus, that was terrible.
It's really not.
It's not great. You know what the best part of Waterworld is? Kevin Costner.
You know, what's... this is a tangent, but... You know, Waterworld was so heavily promoted before it came out, you know, and it was the most expensive movie
I agree.
Made at that time.
I remember.
I was so pumped for that movie. Like, I was excited for it. Like, I was feeling the vibe that I believe I stole, like, nicked it, like, put it in my pocket, the novelization of Waterworld from B. Dalton bookstores, which no longer exists.
Yeah.
And
not many bookstores do.
And I read that thing ravenously before the movie came out.
Okay.
And everything is different.
Yeah.
In the novelization versus the movie because it was based on
too much hype.
It was based on the original screenplay, and they changed so much of that screenplay. But by the time we got the actual movie, it's pretty fascinating. It's actually a really fascinating movie. But it's I
saw it.
I agree. It's not an excellent movie.
I shouldn't say it was crap. It's just honestly, it's.
I'd rewatch it.
I
picked up that Arrow.
I've not seen it in a long time,
and I'd love to rewatch that.
I mean, I'm totally fine with it just on the shelf. Not gonna lie, but it's one that maybe
right next to Officer and Gentleman.
Yeah. Well, no, O and W. You know, kind of. Oh, okay. No, we're spacing there. Is kind of far apart. I don't know. I don't really have a reason. I guess maybe I'm comparing it to Alien for sure. I love, not a huge RoboCop fan, as I said, but I'd have to probably rewatch that as well.
You had a bad experience your first time watching RoboCop. Yes,
I believe, and I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Weller was outstanding in this, I felt. Richard Crenna, come on. Richard
so
Crenna's...
good.
I mean, you don't even have to name what was he in, because it doesn't matter. He's Richard fucking Crenna. There's just a couple actors that, you know, like James Caan, who is obviously not in this.
Right.
But I'm giving an example.
What if it was, though?
Oh, my God.
God damn. If James Caan was in this movie, first of all, this would be a 5-star.
You know what he's doing? James Caan
movie.
is not going underwater. And he's not going to be around sharks. He's not, because he's smart.
No, he makes those land movies.
Yes, he does. Yes. Like, you know, Goodfellas and whatnot.
And Godfather.
Not Goodfellas. I'm sorry, he was not in that. I'm thinking Sorvino.
Yes, Paul Sorvino.
Paul Sorvino, who just died right after Ray Liotta.
Godfather
is what I meant to say. And Thief, of course.
Thief, Rollerball.
But he likes to stay on land.
He does.
He does
like to stay on land.
He's not getting in the water because he's smart. Anyway, you don't have the same shark thing as a weird thing as I do, and also underwater. There was a couple elements I like that you said earlier. I turned to you while it was on, and I said, "Ooh, that's very The Thing." Like a couple, spots. The music was also very good. It went with every scene. I dug that. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
Goldsmith did the score.
Yeah,
he's a workhorse composer. He's just a great all-around composer. I'm pretty sure he's passed.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong. I'd have to look that up.
You can't discount this as a let's be alien underwater. I mean, I get I didn't even read the back of our Blu-ray. It's just
criticism of it being alien underwater is a valid criticism, but I think it's more simply an observation. I don't think it's really a good criticism because I feel like Leviathan is a movie that would never have existed without Alien and Aliens either.
Okay.
So it's not a complete copy, but it does follow
I didn't
the
say
same
a copy.
formula.
No, I didn't mean a copy.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's saying, let's just be alien underwater.
I mean, it's
Speed,
right? The movie Speed with Keanu Reeves is Die Hard. Okay.
On a bus.
On a bus. I mean, it's famously...
Versus in a building.
Right, exactly. It was Die Hard on a bus. But is Speed a terrible movie because it's Die Hard on a bus? No, Speed is awesome, and it's fun, and it's a good time.
Speed's great.
It's
Let's
awesome,
not talk
fun,
about
great
Speed
time.
2, because that's just...
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure.
I didn't watch it, never will. Oh, God, talk about phoning in a sequel. And now, I know most that are listening would say, how can you rip on Speed 2? You didn't see it. Yeah, because we're smart. And we only watch good cinema.
I had no interest in seeing it.
No.
But
also, it wasn't even Keanu.
I will not rip on it. That's why I didn't want to see it.
And it was also Jason Patrick, which... Sorry, Jason Patrick, you're not a bad guy. You're just like...
I mean, he was in Terminator 2. That was Jason...
That was
Wait,
Jason Patrick.
It's not Jason Patrick.
Oh, no.
Who am I thinking of? Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they're not related.
Jason Patrick was in Rush, right?
Jason Patrick was in Rush.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Which we just recently watched, which we love, too. I think he was in Flatliners, too. So here's where we segue.
Just doing a bunch of heroin?
No.
Too?
Well, you know the Jason Patrick thing, the story I always go back to, because I have all this useless, which the podcasts are going to start to reveal. I have all the useless information.
Yeah.
When they did Flatliners, that's when I believe Julia Roberts and Kiefer Sutherland were engaged, and they were going to get married, and then Julia Roberts flew off with Jason Patrick and ended her engagement with Kiefer. Not sure if you know about this or you even care.
This was During Flatliners?
No, afterwards. They were going to get married, and she flew off with Jason Patrick and basically left Kiefer, quote unquote, at the altar, so to speak. So, just fascinating.
Wait, I'm confused. Julia Roberts?
During Flatliners, which was like the 80s.
Flatliners was 91. So,
91.
Julia Roberts was dating Jason.
It was actually 90.
Was dating Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes. They got engaged. And
they were engaged.
Yes.
And then she left him.
Yes. And
for Jason Patrick.
Yes. She basically, they were engaged, and she basically left, and she hooked up with Jason Patrick, which, as we know, that didn't work out. But I was just trying to drop some useless information.
No, it's just fascinating. Like, I'm a straight man.
Yeah.
And I know
you'd run off with Jason Patrick.
No, I would not.
Oh, okay.
No, Jason Patrick needs to wash his hair.
Well, he does, but he's hot.
It's not. I mean, to bring it back to Leviathan, you might be surprised to know this because you mentioned how Amanda Pay's voice sounded like Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah. Oh, it was distracting.
Might shock you. This might be a controversial statement, but I think Amanda Pete's way hotter than Kelly LeBrock, and I'm talking in their prime. I'm not talking about like now.
Yeah. Where did she come from?
I mean, not Amanda Pete. Amanda Pays. Sorry.
Oh no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I agree, Amanda. I totally agree with that.
I actually will make.
Sorry, I just meant it was distracting.
I find Amanda Pete more attractive than Kelly LeBrock too, but Amanda Pays was who I was actually referring to.
And also the accent a little bit. You know, their voice. There's a lot of inflection of her voice that.
But no, it's a similar, and it was a good association.
Right.
To make.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to note really quick. I hate when I do this, but when something is referenced, I have to throw in useless information. And I didn't know if you or a lot of people knew that about Kiefer and Julia. They were engaged, and she ran off with in 1991.
Did we cover this in the Aaron Brockovich podcast at all?
No, we segued onto something else. I thought, that's a really good point.
I'm just curious.
Maybe we did.
And I've
oh my God, if we did, sorry.
Like,
no, because you would have remembered.
Dumped my mind of this useless information.
Okay, yeah. See, anyway, they ran away together, and then obviously it didn't work out. But she dumped him. It's like, you know what? It was the 90s. It was the early 90s. So much shit was going on. I just thought it was interesting, but went overboard on that. I think it's because the reference to Speed got me going.
I just think the more I hear and learn about Julia Roberts, the more I think that Runaway Bride is a documentary.
Oh, that's what the reference is. She was a runaway bride because she was engaged to Kiefer, and she ran, basically, and ran into Patrick. I can't blame her. But
I would have stayed with Kiefer.
Oh, no, I honestly would have, too. And also, your dad is Donald Sutherland, and you get to hang out with, like, your father-in-law, who's Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, who's cool
who's cool as shit, and you get to talk to him all the time. It's like Jason was just dirty hair, probably smoking cigarettes all the time,
all the heroin. All of it. I'm just assuming that he's his Rush character in real life.
He's not.
Just bags of heroin wherever
he's
he goes.
not. But, I mean, nice of you to think so.
He was very convincing in that role.
Yeah. It was a great movie.
Which
we can't do in Exposed.
No, because we've both already seen it.
Yeah, because we've both already seen it. But Interesting, An Officer and a Gentleman is already on my list. So back to this. It's not a bad movie. I was not bored. I was entertained.
No, I was shocked watching you watch this movie.
Yeah.
At how you didn't get distracted.
No. Also, I didn't pee once. Did you notice that?
You did, because I let the dogs out.
Oh, okay,
during
right.
That time is when you went and
no,
peed.
that's usually a good sign of a good movie, though.
Yes,
if I don't,
true.
because if I don't have to get up to
made
pee,
it the full 87 minutes.
I did. This is impressive. I'm actually proud of myself. You don't give me these small little wins.
This was you jumped a few times.
I did jump
which
a few times.
Enjoyed.
Yeah.
Couple good jump scares.
The cast was good. I like the. It reminded me so much of The Thing in the way, not just certain scenes either. How because how they're holed up in The Thing, and like who's got it, who's got this,
exactly,
who's infected. This was very similar. There's The Thing stuff in this as well as Alien, and it wasn't lost on me. Also Hector Elizondo, if I'm saying his name right. A little bit of that, like, okay, so, sorry, I don't mean to keep referencing Julia Roberts, but he was in Pretty Woman, and he was the concierge in Pretty Woman. So, at the hotel?
Yes.
That, like, taught her how to dress and whatever. And so that was a little bit distracting, because I'm like, okay, that's what he's been in other things. I'm just saying, this is what happens when your wife watches a movie. I see somebody and I go, wow, I just can't, like, I'm trying to get past that. Like, don't focus on that. You know what I mean? That he was in this. Ernie Hudson is an example.
Or like Meg Foster, like you were saying.
Yeah. You said in They Live.
They Live.
And you said she's a bitch and everything, pretty much.
She plays a really good
But she's a really good bitch.
And
yeah.
she had this sharp, she was the perfect 80s evil businesswoman sort of thing, because she carried herself with that, like, I'm the boss bitch kind of weight, and her eyes, which are natural,
stunning,
are just sharp. They stab you.
I know.
Watching her, and she's got a look that is just second.
And she never smiles, though. It's like,
what she have to smile?
I don't even know.
Too busy being serious all the time.
I know. I don't even know if she has nice teeth, because she's those eyes, and she's always got the pursed lips because she's being a bitch. It's like, I don't know. Somebody should give her a role where she smiles more. I'm not even gonna look it up. Maybe she already has one, but I'm just saying, she is gorgeous, though. I will say that. And Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. Yes. I know he's been in way other things. Wasn't Ernie Hudson in, what do you call it, with Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump?
No.
He was Bubba, I thought, anyway.
No.
Anyway,
I look, I might need some pro here in a second, but I'm pretty sure that Ernie Hudson was not Bubba.
Okay.
Am I gonna have to delete this whole segment so you don't appear to be a racist?
No. I honestly thought he was Bubba.
I don't think it was Bubba.
Okay. I could be wrong. Anyway.
Alexa, who played Bubba Gump? Sorry. Who played
Blue?
Alexa.
I missed.
Who played Bubba in Forrest Gump?
Bubba Blue was played by Michael T. Williamson in the 1994 film Forrest Gump.
All right, so I'm wrong.
Alexa, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
Okay. Thank God for Alexa. Whatever. So, if you're trying to make your point, you made it. It doesn't matter.
No.
You know, I think when we did this first podcast, okay, our friend who remains nameless said, you know, if you're going to try and reference something, you know, maybe you should look it up first. But it's like, okay, I get that, but this is all on the fly, and we're just kind of winging it. So, and I don't want to sit here and look at my phone the whole time. So I'm off a bit. You know, I'm not wrong often, but I'll admit when I am. So, so I am.
And likewise, Amanda Peet and Amanda Pays are not the same.
Thank you. And all I was trying to say is sum up. We've seen Ernie Hudson in more than Ghostbusters, because I hate when people pigeonhole somebody but they're probably going to pigeonhole Weller, like in RoboCop,
yeah, he is.
right?
He's absolutely pigeonholed.
Like, what do you think if he's at a con? Right? Everybody's gonna. What are they gonna have him sign? You know, it's like Neve Campbell. They're gonna have her sign Scream. I get it, but that's why
Ernie Hudson has 122 acting credits on Letterboxd.
Right.
122.
Okay. I wasn't that far off with Forrest Gump. It's been a long time, so shoot me. Anyway.
Well, none of those 122 movies are Forrest Gump, though.
This is true.
So.
I'm trying to think what it was, but
Miss Congeniality.
Yes, Miss Congeniality. I remember him in that. He was very good in that. Anyway, this isn't necessarily about Ernie Hudson. It's certainly not about Julia Roberts.
It's about motherfucking Leviathan.
Yes, it is, and also yummy Peter Weller. Because you know, maybe it gets a 3 stars for me because maybe I would have been at 2.75. And then, Weller took it up a quarter star for me. I did like Amanda Pays in this. I really did. I will say this, going back to Isle Bacher, the one that from Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
Bowman was her character's name, I believe. She, this was the weird thing for me, too. I think Officer and a Gentleman was 82, and this was 89. Okay, that's 7 years, girl, for you to get your acting on point, okay? I didn't like her acting in this, but, I didn't love it in Officer and a Gentleman, but I don't know, a couple of her scenes were I just felt like I could have acted a little bit better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after 7 years of, probably being in other things, not ripping on her, it's just, you know when you're watching a movie and you go, oh my God, they're going to be the second or third to be killed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just based on how they're acting, you're being a dum-dum, you know, you're a dick, or, you know, something. You just know. And the movie started, and I'm literally, I said in my head, oh, she's easily 2 or 3.
And you knew six-pack wasn't going to last very long.
Because he was a jerk. Also, look, can't unsee him from Home Alone. With Joe Pesci as as one of the silly crooks.
The wet bandits.
The wet bandits. Yeah, that was again a little distracting for me. Also,
not this movie's fault though. This movie came out pre.
Oh, good call. Very good call. But 2 things: your handle or your nickname, whatever you want to call it, is Six-Pack. Okay, what'd I say? It's a call sign, but really their nickname in this. Okay, right. Six-Pack. There is no Six-Pack there to speak of because you're tall and lanky, so it's just funny on the.
And there's no alcohol.
No alcohol, so I also went to that with Six-Pack. He did go immediately for the vodka, so it could be a liquor thing.
Yeah, maybe he talks about alcohol.
But you know how he was trying to be with the ladies. It's dude, you are not a ladies' man. You're not, but. Come on, you're on board with Peter Weller. Jesus. We know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Peter Weller's going to steal all the women. Yeah. Much like Tom.
But I like the dynamic of characters a little bit. And again, Richard Crenna, you were a jerk. We knew you were going to be the dirty doctor. At least I did, a half an hour in.
I think Richard Crenna actually is a really good character as Doc in this movie. Because I don't really think that he is a bad character at the end of the day. He was doing what Ripley should have done in Alien which was Ripley was on the ship when John Hurt got infected.
Right.
And she did not want to let him back on the ship.
You're right.
But Scarrett was like being an asshole and kind of just was like, you're a woman, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And, let us back on the ship.
Right.
So
I'm sorry, I did a deep sigh because we're back to, you always got to have a hottie on the ship. I mean, you got Peter Weller on this one.
What,
and you
Victoria Cartwright?
No,
Alien?
Tom Skerritt.
Oh, gotcha.
God,
okay,
hello.
gotcha, yeah.
I mean, let's not start Top Gun talk because of Skerritt, but you got a hottie on. Let's put one hottie on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter Weller on this one. Tom Skerritt on with Jesus. How does anybody get any work done?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Just saying.
I mean, Sigourney Weaver spent the final act of Alien running around in her underwear. So
I know. With the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Which kind of like, it kind of is echoed in Leviathan, I guess, with...
I
didn't make that connection until just now, but...
Oh, with Willie.
Yeah.
With, running
Pete,
around.
Jesus Christ, Pays. Why do I
Amanda
keep saying
Pays.
Amanda
Sorry,
Pays?
Willie, I believe, was her character's
Willie
name.
was the character's name.
You're right. I don't know what you're stuck on.
I don't know. It's
Although
just
Amanda Pete is...
Amanda P. And
Amanda
they're both
Pete is
skinny
adorable.
girls, and yeah.
She's adorable. The whole 9 yards, I think, with Bruce Willis she was in. Well, I mean, amongst other things, but I think she's
Identity
adorable.
was really good too.
But yeah, but I mean, Amanda Pays was great in this. Okay, not gonna lie. When a movie starts, we go back to this. When I said you can always pick out the ones that are gonna die first. I don't know if you do this. I do this. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. You always know within 10 minutes the dum-dum that's going first.
Oh, yeah, there's always an obvious
like,
one.
oh my God, why'd you take Kevin Bacon first? But I think you took him first in Nightmare, or Friday the 13th, because,
Well, one of the first for sure.
He wasn't famous yet. He was just nobody. So
None of them were famous.
No, I know, but I mean, somebody should have said, you can't take Kevin Bacon, he's going to be somebody, but whatever. I was a little surprised at not the final three, 2 of the final 3, maybe 1 of the final 3. I don't know. Like, you knew Beck was going to make it.
Sure.
And by the way, if you haven't seen this movie, we're totally going to ruin it. So don't,
Oh, we already have.
Okay, but you're not supposed to listen to this unless you've seen the movie. So, hence exposed. But yeah, Beck we knew, and thank God there were no animals on the plane or on the boat on the ship, because then I probably wouldn't have done as well with this. So
yeah, they did not have any.
Like she saved the cat in Alien.
There was a fish tank.
Oh yeah,
like a little dust
fish tank. I forgot. What happened to the goldfish?
Well, at the end when the station was imploding, it fell off the desk and crashed on the ground. So hence fish out of water at that point. But it's okay because 20 seconds later, the whole thing was filled with water. So those
but it exploded.
No, it imploded. It filled in with the water.
Okay, but then I thought I saw big
fireball.
Like
something blew up. Yeah. One of the tanks.
Okay, so I totally forgot about the goldfish. So thanks for just bringing that up.
The goldfish probably could have made it if they were quick enough.
Okay. Even if the goldfish made it, it was still fish food at some point because look, he was just a tiny.
Well, yeah, there's
guy.
Leviathans living down there and stuff. So
no, because they got him. Say hi, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, no.
That's why she's like, Beck, where are you going? Why are you going back in? Oh Jesus, girl, just stop. He's gonna make it. He's made it this far, right?
Yeah, but
you're gonna get laid.
Hudson made it pretty far too, and then he dies right at the end.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of shitty.
It was shitty.
That was shitty. But anyway, I love how there's always the banger line. I'm trying to think of the banger line in Alien. There's a few. And I'm sorry, we shouldn't keep referencing it to Alien. I shouldn't do that because this movie should stand by itself. It's just
it should, but it invites those comparisons.
Yeah,
even the company overseeing everything that in the Alien franchise, it's called the Weyland-Yutani Company, but like Paul Reiser in Aliens just keeps referring to it as the company. I work for the company.
Yeah.
Company.
Oh, yeah.
And he and Meg Foster is the representative of
Paul
the company.
Reiser?
Yeah. In Aliens.
Oh, in Aliens. Sorry, my bad. I was still in Leviathan. So
yeah. No,
segue.
No. Meg Foster, works for the company.
For the company,
and all the characters just keep referring to it as the company.
Oh, and also when she said, we can't come get you because of the hurricane, I literally was going to turn to you and go, "There's no fucking hurricane." Because look at this bitch's eyes. She is lying.
You can't trust anything.
You can't trust anything from Meg Foster. You could tell the video chats she kept doing. It's like, and Peter knew.
They say the eyes are the window to the soul.
Yeah.
But you can't see through Meg Foster's eyes. They just reflect back at you.
Yeah, I know. She's evil.
She's evil.
She's evil.
Almost all the time.
She's hot, but she's evil.
Roddy Piper shouldn't have trusted her in the live. I know. Nobody should have trusted her.
Should that be the moral of Leviathan?
Don't trust Meg Foster in anything, ever.
No. Anyway, and sorry, Ernie Hudson. Dude, you were so close. You know what I mean? You were so close.
So, Kristy gives Leviathan 3 stars.
I'm at a solid 3. I guess, I've given things worse, like 2.5. I gotta give it a 3.
I'm curious just to see what the average is right now.
And I know Shawn originally, unless his perception has changed now because he hasn't seen it in a while, you had originally given it a 4.5. So that's still shocking to me. But then again, I've given stuff a 5, and you've given it a 3.
I also really, this is kind of a personal bias, I guess, but water movies do it for me.
Okay.
A little bit, I'm fascinated with the camera work, and
you know why they don't do it for me? So
because sharks, right?
But sharks, and my phobia of the ocean. Even though I love it, I love looking at it, love listening to it, but I have a phobia.
Well, I don't necessarily want to go underwater, but I want to see pictures of everything underwater.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And the sharks aren't real and stuff like at the end, but it's just like that's the other thing. Like they didn't get you, but then the thing came up, so I guess he scared him, right? I mean,
well, yeah.
Or the Coast Guard and
the Coast Guard was pushing the water away, with the helicopter and all that fun, good times. But yeah, no, I like my water movies. That's why '89 was a good year for water movies in my mind.
Now, got 3 of them. Don't think I don't like water movies. I'm just, it's. Except Speed 2, which I will never see.
That's true. That's on a boat.
That's on a boat. I'm never going to see it. Terrible. Sandra Bullock, better choices. Just saying. But, you've proven yourself since then, so I can't be a hater. But no, I stand by a 3 on this. It's not a bad movie.
It's a good time movie. It's a good weekend movie.
Yeah.
It's not going to require a lot of thought. You're not going to need to focus all of your undying attention on it.
No, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not mad. I sat through an hour and 38 minutes of it, and then Ernie Hudson's comment, which just killed me at the end, when he's talking to Meg Foster, and he's like, "Gone, bitch, we're still here."
Yeah.
I mean, that was just I had to rewind that because that was a good line. I mean, it's a good line. And then, then she says, "You guys need to get some rest." Yeah. And she's like, "Rest?" He's like, "I'm not sleeping ever because of this."
That was his big Twinkie moment.
Yeah. I will say, I hate to throw in cheesy lines because every movie has them. But at the end, when the sharks are circling, and you're supposed to be freaking out, right? Because after everything you went through, and now sharks are circling, and you're trying to get on the helicopter, and Ernie goes very, very jovial. Oh, talk about a bad day. I was oh my gosh. I was just ooh, okay, you know what? I think there's 5 minutes left.
And that's why.
That was terrible. And you're about to die.
That's why you had to die.
That's why you had to die. Because you have
one bad line too many. You overstretch.
Because you know what you're doing when sharks are circling. You're about to be rescued, and, sharks are right there. And then the thing comes up, too, at the same time. But you literally go, talk about a bad day. It's just It was cheesy. I didn't care for that. You might have lost a half a star right there for me too, because that was just stupid.
Wow.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Could have been 3.5-star
No,
movie,
it
but Ernie
wasn't
Hudson,
gonna.
Thanks for ruining that.
No, Peter Weller, you saved it, making it a 3. But I believe we talked about this. I got to add this. When you give something a 4.5, because I've seen you give a lot of things a 4.5. What just? It's like it's insane to me. What is it that, especially this? What just kept you from that half a star?
Fair question. Always a fair question. I try to keep 5-star movies reserved to movies that I genuinely think are absolutely perfect in every way.
Such as?
Godfather.
Okay.
Or Thief.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Since we mentioned it before, or I just truly fucking love Above All Else.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like Cherry
Like you
2000.
can't put it in the
Right.
same. You can't put it. Okay, but that's also interesting. Cherry 2000 is clearly a 5 because it's one of your favorite movies.
Yes.
This is a 4.5.
Yeah, this is pretty.
Babe, you've seen better cinema than Leviathan.
Sure. But what keeps Leviathan from being like a 5-star banger, though, is that I've seen it before in other movies.
It's because Amanda Pace didn't get naked, isn't it? You know?
I'm not
because I think that would have been like a half a star.
I'm not saying that wouldn't have given it an extra half star.
She looked good.
She looked good.
Yeah. But she kept her skivvies on.
I was actually more shocked that your other girl from An Officer and a Gentleman didn't get naked in this movie.
Yeah.
Because
her boobs were referenced.
Her boobs were referenced, and there was moments that they could have gotten away with it. Like when she was wrapped in the towel, in the medical bay. Like, that towel could have easily just fell off, and like, oops, but...
Yeah. I actually thought they were going to go there.
Yeah, and they never
And
did.
I like that they didn't. And not because it's this, I'm a woman and the Me Too, Jesus, criminy, not dissonant.
Wow.
No.
Nothing has ever sounded more older than you saying...
Did I say criminy?
Jesus, criminy.
Okay, well, I know. I can say the F word, but I can't. I just said criminy. Hi, I'm 80. Anyway, no, I just like that they didn't do that. And they didn't do the typical sex scene. We all like those scenes, sure. But, I mean, are you just throwing them in there? It's, when it's not necessary. So I kind of like that they didn't do that. But that's just fascinating on your 4.5 stars. Because
To my credit, and I have weird genre movie loving friends for the most part. Leviathan on Letterboxd has a 2.9 average, which that bell curve is right down the center.
Okay, sure. So right where I'm giving it, basically,
right where you're giving it. None of my friends that rated it gave it anything less than a 3.
Okay.
But 1, 2, 3 people gave it a 3. 1 3.5, 2 4s. A 4.5 and a 5, and I too gave it 4.5.
Yeah, and you also have more Letterboxd friends than I do because I started later than you did, and I'm not I'm not as cool as you.
I'm not comparing scores here or anything like that. I'm just finding it curious that I think this is a movie that does need to kind of be reevaluated. It's more deserving than the 23% or whatever it was that Rotten Tomatoes has it scored.
Yeah, and again, I did not hate this movie. I did not hate it at all. I didn't love it. I didn't. I don't even want to say. We've watched a lot of movies, and I went. My favorite saying is meh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not a good review from Kristy. But this was not a meh. This was I enjoyed it. I didn't pee once through it. That's always a good sign. I didn't nod off. No. That's happened. Also a good sign. And I was engaged. I was kind of, dare I say, bored. I wasn't bored, but it was a little bit of it was, okay, so how much time is left? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Yeah. That's also not a bad thing. It's just, and I'm done comparing it to Alien. The easiest way for me to see it, I feel like I've seen 6 other movies like it.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. Whether it's Alien or whether it's something else.
It's still good in its own right. It's just, and I quote, I've seen you before.
Yeah.
Now, is that fair to Leviathan? Sorry, guys, it was 89. There's so many things like you, before and after, that it was just like, I've just seen you before, that's all. But it was, and a couple of the characters were, like, not super interesting. Like, I don't care if you die.
Yeah, they were
or you're gonna die.
Cannon fodder
characters.
Yeah. Just because the movie needed a body count at some point.
And Crenna, who is amazing in everything, because he's Richard Crenna. I still go by this. Weller was the standout for me in this.
Sure.
For sure. And I know Amanda Pays, whatever, but Amanda...
I'm not sitting here and going to tell you that Amanda Pays is some fantastic actress.
No.
She's absolutely not. Was she competent in this movie? Sure.
Yeah.
She was totally competent, but this was Peter Weller's movie.
Yeah.
And to a lesser degree, I think Richard Crenna really does steal the show with his scenes.
And Pays was competent.
Pays was competent,
but she was also eye candy.
She was the eye candy and the pretty face that every movie like this has.
Right.
So I'm not gonna take her down a notch because she's those things. It's an asset to this type of role.
Yeah.
But it's but I think that. Sorry, Amanda. Do I think that any other pretty girl of the same time period could have been thrown into that?
Yes.
Role with mixed results or similar
I
results?
will tell you, though, if the chick from Officer and a Gentleman would have been the heroine, I would have been like, okay, you just lost a half a star for me. Just because her, forget the acting. It's just like, it wouldn't have been believable. You know what I mean?
Right.
The characters were set as they were. You know what I mean? How they were supposed to be.
Yeah, they're kind of stereotypical.
I guess for sure. Look, and Amanda Pays, good that you did all the running around the ship, because that probably saved your ass. You staying in, you had astronaut training in 2 days. Also, do we know what happened to your astronaut training, or did you and Weller hook up? We don't know, because it just ended. By the way, I don't want a sequel.
I know, but
please no. I don't care, because I don't care. Because I don't care. I don't care what happens to Weller and Amanda Pays. I don't. It was a good ending.
It's a good ending. It doesn't even really set itself up for a sequel.
Yeah.
They blow up the thing. They move on.
Yeah, he punches Meg Foster. You get all the payoff that you want out of this ending. Because how Stakeout ended. That's why I said that.
Yeah, but not every movie needs a sequel.
That's why it set up for Stakeout too. Also a good movie. Okay, Stakeout was better. I'm just saying, but it set it up. Because in Stakeout 2, they were together. I was going somewhere with this because I don't need a Leviathan 2.
No.
I don't care enough.
I haven't listened to the audio commentary, if there even is one, or watched any of the special features on this Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody was under the delusion that this could have been a potential franchise. No. I think they were just like, let's make this fun water sci-fi movie. And
again, there's a Leviathan from, I think, 2014, which is, I
think they're all different movies.
Okay.
That
was confusing
when
to me
I looked up
Leviathan
on Letterboxd, there is at least...
I only saw there's 2.
There's 4 movies called Leviathan or The Leviathan.
Okay.
Right up on top. One's a Russian movie.
Well, hence the premise of this.
Which, interestingly, this was a Russian ship. Then there's looks like another horror movie from 2015. None of these are remakes of this movie.
No. I just thought
they're all take place in the water, but that's Leviathan.
Right, but it's like, remember a week or 2 ago we watched The Postman Always Rings Twice. Again, I know you're gonna. You said the second one with Jack Nicholson versus the earlier one. 40s, I get it. Like it's a remake.
Yeah,
and I get that. But you can't just say if you're talking to somebody randomly, "Hey, I just watched The Postman Always Rings Twice." You can't. You have to literally specify, because someone's gonna say, "Oh, which one?" Because there are 2 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Provided that they even know that.
But it's the same with Leviathan, though.
Right.
It's like you could say I watched Leviathan.
Oh, they're not going to know right offhand. And why would it be the '89 movie versus one of the more recent ones?
Exactly. So I'm just saying it's just interesting in the film culture now. It's just if you said I watched Mean Girls, Okay, there's no question. I watch Mean Girls. You know what Mean Girls is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what Mean Girls is. I'm just saying it's just interesting the nuances of some movies that have multiple.
I will say one point to your point. One point, Aaron and I was having a conversation with a third party, which will remain nameless.
Okay.
Aaron's a friend of mine for people who are listening, and Miami Vice was brought up.
Okay.
And the third person said, "I don't like Miami Vice. It was terrible." And I'm like, "Well, which one are you talking about?" And he said,
"Oh."
And he responded with the Michael Mann one. And I responded with, "Which one are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he's like, he had no idea or clue that the television series was a Michael Mann film.
Gotcha. And
the movie with Colin Farrell that came out years later in the 2000s was also directed by Michael Mann.
Yeah.
I mean, it was his own.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a great example.
It's akin to that.
Manhunter. You know my love of Manhunter.
And I'm sure there's other movies called Manhunter.
No,
too.
but I meant there's two specifically of the book.
Right.
And you know which one I love. I mean...
Oh, you mean as far as Red Dragon and...
Yeah. I mean, but you know which one I love is William Patterson.
Yeah.
If I'm saying...
Brian Cox.
Yeah. I mean, that one is just like... I mean, I've seen them both. Don't get me wrong. I've read the books and saw Red Dragon in the movie with in the theaters with my dad when he was in good health. And... yeah, I'm a picky bitch when it comes to stuff like that. Like, yeah, you can say all day long, yeah, there's two different Manhunters, two different versions. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, only one of them's the good one, though. But then again, that's my opinion only, so you can't really say that. But see, interesting on the Miami Vice thing. I'm just saying, it's just, that's why I love when I say one of my favorite movies is The Goodbye Girl.
Yeah.
There's no confusion here. There's one Goodbye Girl, right?
No, there isn't.
Oh, shit, there was. There was an earlier one, wasn't
there? No, it was
there?
remade later.
It was remade later. Oh, God. Okay. Let me rephrase that. There's only one The Goodbye Girl, meaning there's only one...
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, there's only one good one, is what I meant. But you know what I mean.
Marsha Mason.
Marsha Mason. Again... It's all relative, though, because everybody's different. That's the point of Exposed, I feel, too. And we're about to wrap up. That's the point of Exposed, I feel. Talking about showing each other things we haven't seen, hence the title, but it's all relative. It's all... Everybody's different. You know what I mean? You gave this a 4.5. I gave it a 3. Mm-hmm. It's fun to talk about it. It's fun to talk movies.
So, now that I gave you this...
Yes.
Experience. What are you going to put me through next week?
At the end of this is only our second episode,
right?
But what listeners have to know, we always say our next movie, which will be next week, and Working Girl.
What's Working Girl?
With Harrison Ford.
So this was 89?
Yes.
88,
well, I know you're.
I'm asking this because. Much like, say, Leviathan, Working Girl is a generic enough title that I feel like there might be 7 movies called Working
I'm
Girl.
sorry. And we're not watching a porno next week. It's actually a really good movie.
So there's no prostitutes?
No, there's no... no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a clean family show.
I didn't see...
It's 1988, and it's Harrison Ford and Melanie Griffith. You one of your loves from Cherry 2000, and Sigourney Weaver, ironically, because we've been talking Alien today. In 1988, it's a great movie. Alec Baldwin's in it. It's a great movie. Joan Cusack is in it as well. Mm-hmm. For once she's in a movie that her brother John is not in.
Did John have nothing to do with
No, John had nothing to do with this movie.
He's not like a producer.
No, Joan Cusack is one of my favorite parts of Working Girl. Anyway, you haven't seen it. It's also
I have not.
It's also
I am familiar with the movie.
You are familiar with it.
It's not like Leviathan where you had no idea it existed.
I also believe at one point we had a small conversation and you said I've never seen this.
I know I have seen scenes of it.
You've seen scenes, but not in its entirety. Also, it was New York pre 9/11. There's so many beautiful shots of the Twin Towers.
Because
Serious.
it's a land movie.
And it's because it's also Kristy likes land movies.
Dirty sharks.
Oh, there is water around there because
Right. Yeah.
What is it? Is it the Hudson River? What is it?
I mean, the Hudson River is there.
No, I mean, but you have to take the ferry everywhere, like to go back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's lots of ferry shots on it too.
Okay.
So there is water in this one. So I thought you would be excited because there's water. But yes, it is a land
we have
movie.
To wait a whole week?
Anyway, I know. Are you that excited? I know.
There's water in it.
I know. So you're that excited. Okay, but it's Working Girl, and I am shocked you haven't seen it. It's a good one, and at least I think so. So stay tuned, and we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you stick around because we really, look, with or without anybody listening, we would probably watch a movie and, like True Romance, have a piece of pie afterwards and just talk about it, right? So it's kind of nice that we have hopefully someone is, some listeners. This was fun. So this was K&S, and I'm Kristy.
I'm Shawn.
And we're checking out. Thanks for listening.
See you again next week.